We're the third worst state to do business in the country. We've got an unemployment crisis that the state Democrats are doing absolutely nothing about. You know, 160,000 people lost their jobs last year. 160,000. There are 260,000 people right now currently in Wisconsin that can't find work. And the Democrats in charge of the state Senate are doing nothing to help these people. In fact, they're creating a larger problem. We need people like Ed to come there and help us. I need someone to work with who's used to writing on the front of a paycheck and not just on the back of a paycheck. We need people that will make common sense decisions in Madison, because I don't understand it. I don't know how you create jobs in the state of Wisconsin by making it more expensive to create jobs. That's what happens. You want to know the biggest difference right now between the Democrats and what Ed's opponent believes in? They did a $15 million job package. And, you know, they want to talk about the problems with regulations in the state. They create a government agency that will help job creators navigate through the red tape and the regulations that the state puts businesses through. You know what our idea is? Let's get rid of the red tape. You tell me which makes more sense. People like Ed coming to Madison will bring that kind of common sense reality back to it. And understand, that the decisions we make in Madison affect your lives every day. And the fact is, the Democrats don't get that. They had a $15 million job package to solve the problems of 260,000 people who are out of work. They paid $1 million, and this is the only job package they're doing this year. $1 million they're spending on retraining people that have been displaced. Last year in the budget, they spent $5 million on a new scoreboard at the Bradley Center. $5 million new scoreboard, $1 million to get people back to work. You tell me where that's a priority. We need to change that, and the way we're going to change that is by you all coming together, working every day now for the next 7 months to bring Ed Thompson to join me in the state Senate. It is my pleasure to introduce the next state senator from the 31st District, Ed Thompson.
Thank you, Randy. I don't know how I could top that, so I really appreciate it, Randy. You know, Randy's hit the nail on the head. That's the problem that we're having. I'm a small businessman. I've bought the TV Supper Club in 1990. It was bankrupt. It was shut down. When I bought it, they said, you know, why don't you just tear it down, Ed? It's a disaster. Now that it encompasses 4 more buildings. And it's more than a business to me. It's kind of a community gathering. It's been a way of life. People come and have their weddings there, and their 90th birthday parties, and their class reunions. So I really got in touch with what's going on with this, the common person, the common man. The business that grew and it's been successful. I decided to run for mayor of Toma. I'd never been in politics before in my life, and when I ran, I beat a 3-term incumbent that I thought did a fairly good job, but we had difference of opinion. The first day out on the job, the city administrator said, "Ed, well, what are we going to do?" I said, "I have no idea what we're supposed to do. I'm new to this business." He said, "Well, you got to fill the 28 committees." I said, 28 committees in Toma? What in the world are we going to do with 28 committees? Well, we filled them, but the next year we'd reduce those to 13. So that was my idea of government, to get it smaller, to make it handle. We got a new senior center started in Toma at no cost to the public, and they had never had one before. And we bought an old drugstore, and it just worked out fine. It makes money. It doesn't cost the taxpayers anything. And so that's my idea of governing. Common sense, logic. I'm just a common man. I have nothing to offer except common sense. But I see that's probably the thing that's lacking most in Madison, is the idea to look at a situation and see that this just isn't working. You cannot possibly spend more money than you take in business. And I think every one of you know that. And what they've done in Madison, they've created a debt over our children's head. That's a sin. That's evil. My deepest and firmest belief is being free. That's what liberty without a doubt, is the strongest motivating factor in my life. You know, that's where the Libertarian Party came from, the word liberty. And how can you have freedom? How can you be free? How can anybody be free if you have debt? That's the one thing that you have an obligation. You have to pay that debt. You have to eliminate that debt. And where are we now? And what do we pass on to our children? A debt that is almost incomprehensible. We got a debt on them that's burying them and burying us. And there's no way out of this unless we take control of this state. The last budget they passed was $58 billion. $58 billion. The biggest budget they ever had in the state of Wisconsin. And they couldn't live within the confines of that. They went $6 billion over. We have a deficit now that's hanging over our children's head and their children. And if we don't start rolling this back and start saying no, absolutely no to what's going on. I signed an oath that I wouldn't raise any new taxes. Not only that's not enough. We have to roll them back. We have to get business attracted back. Randy made a perfect point. What business in the world would ever think of coming to Wisconsin? Forbes magazine has us rated the third worst in the nation. The third worst in the nation in Wisconsin. That's just not acceptable. So I'm asking you from the bottom of my heart to support me in this race. I can give you my loyalty. I will be for the small businessman. I will never vote against freedom. I will never vote to raise taxes. I will be there I'll be easily accessible, and I will serve you. And so I don't have much more to say except please get behind me and support me. I do need you financially, physically, mentally, morally. I need your support. And with your support, with the people here in this room, and with what we can do in Eau Claire, I know I can win this. And I promise you this, nobody will outwork me. I'll be there every single day. I will work for you. So thank you very much for listening.